me that they need more people to participate, and what a great chance to participate in Ishwar Puri Ji's satsang and get the great, great, great blessings of Baba Sawan Singh. So I encourage everybody to do whatever they want: shab, talks, singing, poems, whatever you like, to just do more and more seva. That will be wonderful. Um, so my holy family, my brothers and sisters in God, here we go for another chapter in the love story that continues on. And this love story has a happy ending for all of us. That is the most important thing, that this love story has a happy ending. That before this love story started, we had many, many other stories that did not end up good and made us suffer, and took us to bad places in the creation of Lord God. And we wept, and we really wished for something better. And now, at the end, at the end of the journey, we meet our perfect Holy Father. We meet the perfect Master, and the story, for sure, with the perfect Master, has a happy ending and has the best ending, that it will lead us to the land of unlimited joy and the land of beauty, of indescribable beauty and bliss and happiness. That the saints say, be thirsty for the ultimate water, and then be ready for what will come pouring out of that spring. That there is something very, 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 very good waiting for us, that will pour out from the spring of life, that we just have to be thirsty, yearn for, and want. And whatever you yearn for, you will get, especially if your wish is a godly wish, if your wish is God and the kingdom of God, and He's the controller of all the show. And if you just yearn for Father God, then surely impossibility, as Sant Kirpal Singh says, is in the dictionary of the fools. And everything is possible with Master. Everything is possible with Master, especially if we just yearn for Him. As through getting attached by the love, by love of the Guru, the darkness is dispelled, and thousands of suns shine through, shine forth with the repetition of the Nam. That there is something really, really beautiful waiting for us. Oceans and vastness of love are waiting for us. We just have to put our single attention on the Master, as the attention is the outer expression of the soul, the outer expression of the soul. And if we direct the outer expression of the soul towards the Master and God, and forget about everything that takes us away from Him, then we will see His radiant form. We will see His radiant face. We will see Him inside of us. All what is asked from us is an undivided attention. It is like a pipe that has, if it has so many holes, then the water that does not, it just trickles from each hole, and the water is scattered. But if the pipe is closed and only just one hole is open, then it's like a power wash. It comes out strong and gushing. And that is what's needed for us. As love is in it in our soul, love is inborn and it's natural in our soul. However, it's divided to so many things. It's divided into family, children, husbands and wives, and jobs, and vacations, and so many things divide up that love that is in it, that is inborn, that is natural in our soul. All what we have to do is just direct it towards God and Master, and then all things good will happen. Then our journey will be much, much more beautiful. Saint Kirpal says that if you love me, follow my commandments. If a disciple develops those qualities and surrenders himself completely to the will of the Master, to the will of the Satguru, he shall be freed from all worldly desires. Isn't that so beautiful what Sant Kirpal says? That if we follow the commandments of the Master and we put our attention on him, then we will be free. We will be free from worldly desires. And those are what makes us suffer is the worldly desires. The worldly desires bring suffering to us. And Master will free us. And we will become receptacle to the Shabdun, to the holy inner sound. This is a Master's promise on us, and the generosity, Master's grace and Master's generosity will flood to us, will flood on us, and it will break all inner gates will open and all obstacles will be removed. That the floodgates, the spiritual floodgates will open and will pour on us and will remove all inner obstructions. That this is just the only thing that we have to learn is how to keep our single pointed attention. And to keep our single pointed attention in this world is very, very, very hard because there is always the other power trying to take our attention away from Master. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very, very careful and try to live in the moment and try to remember what's our purpose here. That we have been given this body, which is the temple of God, and we have our soul is in it, God is in it. They call we have to recognize the inner man or the inner woman as the image of God, the inner man and the inner woman as the image of God that is inside of us. So our body is very holy. It's the temple of God and has been given to us for only one purpose. And that purpose is that we have to rise up. We have to rise in Him. We have to rise in Master. We have to rise in Master and just imbibe His qualities. Imbibe His qualities. And in the company of the Master, what will happen? The infection of love. We will be infected with love, as love is not taught. What is love? Where is love? And what does love want? You know, love comes from the radiation of the Master. It's the easiest way to catch the love of the Master is to sit in his company, to sit in the company of someone who's God intoxicated. Somebody who's God intoxicated spills love all the time in all directions. And you cannot hide from that love. You will get wet. You will get drenched by the love of somebody who's godly intoxicated. Somebody who's godly intoxicated has that radiation, and anybody who sits in proximity or even thinks of that person, then they will fill their cup with the love. So love is caught. Love is caught through radiation by sitting close to the Master. And that love changes us. That love, once it takes hold in our soul, that's it. It starts to grow and grow and grow. And then more and more godly qualities will gush through in us and will sprout and will start to grow. And then happiness is the next thing. So, if we want to learn the game of love, if we want to play the game of love with Master and God, then we have to come to His table, having our head in our palms. This is the price to pay to play the game of love. To play the game of love, we have to have our head on our palms, which is the surrenderance. That to surrender our ego, our little ego, and lose our sense of our little ego, and merge into the big ego of God. So this is the price. This is the price. They say God is very jealous. He wants all the attention on him, and he wants full attention, one pointed attention. And yesterday I was talking how God wants us to become like children. Why? Why does he want us to become like 5-year-olds? Because innocence is in the children, and the children are very, very receptive. They are very, very receptive, and they even have high experiences in God. And when they are babies, there is a story. There is a story of this woman. She was walking close to a saint. and she thought of him as just an ordinary as an ordinary person, illiterate and ordinary person. And she was carrying her 2 month old child. And then that baby, when he was close to the saint, spoke. And he said to the saint, "Peace on you, messenger of God." And then the mom got like so startled, and she was a little angry, and she said like, "You're 2 months here, you're 2 months, who taught you how to speak? Why are you speaking? You're not supposed to speak right now." And then he said, "God taught me, God teaches me everything, and he's with me." And then he said, the angel Gabriel is above your head, and he's teaching me also everything. That children are very, very, very receptive to God, and they have experiences of God. That's why when you look at children, they are like skipping, they are like happy, and they are not concerned of everything. They have not been polluted by the dirt of this world, and part of them is still like enjoying the kingdom of God. That's why they are happy and they are skipping. That's why Master wants us to be like children. So I will read to you a story from Baba Sawan Singh. Uh, and I remember when I was a child, and my mom used to read to us the Beauty and the Beast, and the Cinderella, and Red Riding Hood, and all those stories. I swear, I swear, when she was reading to us those stories, like it was like as if I was in the story. I was as if I was in the story. And I remember when she read the Beauty and the Beast, how me and my sister, we started weeping and we ran to the bathroom. It just became so real. It became so real. So I hope the story, when I read the story from Baba Sawan Singh, it will be also so, so, so real that you will be with Baba Sawan Singh and his grace. So uh, yesterday, okay, I'll read story number 5. A boy was living as a soldier in Burma, now Myanmar, a country on the east coast of the Indian subcontinent. War had started there, and he decided to come back to his house, and he sat in meditation. Hazur appeared to him in his meditation and told him that he would be able to reach his home and that he should buy a ticket. He bought the ticket, but in those days, only a ship could carry people on this route. Hazur, in the guise of a regular man, did not let him sit in the first ship. Then he tried the next ship. Again, Hazur, disguised as an ordinary person, did not let him sit in that ship either. When the third ship came, he was able to board the ship, and he reached home safe and sound. He then found out that the first two ships had sank. When he told the story to the Sangat in Bias, everybody became very happy. He also told the whole story to Hazur. Hazur said to me, "Look, my child Kako, I did nothing. It was all done by my Satguru, Baba Jamal Singh, because this boy loves me very much. Therefore, my master took care of him on my behalf." All right, I'll read another story. They're very short ones. The story of Sant Ram Sethi. In 1947, there was a war between India and Pakistan. This was the period of partition of India after its successful campaign for independence from Great Britain. A mass migration of Muslims to Pakistan and Hindus from Pakistan to India was occurring. Sant Ram Sethi was a military officer. Both he and his wife were advanced meditators. In the Pakistani city of Shikampura, something like that, there was great civil unrest between Muslims and Hindus. His wife suggested to him that they go to Bias. Both of them sat in meditation, and Hazur appeared to them. He advised that they leave the city soon. As they left the city and reached wheat fields close to their house, they saw that their house was on fire. They also saw a house next to the fields where an officer advised them to enter. The house belonged to a Muslim man. They saw light in the house, and according to the advice of Hazur, they entered the house and spent the night there. All the night, Hazur was walking around the house, disguised as a security guard. At daybreak, Hazur again advised them to take the second truck that comes, and he came to know that the Muslims had shot up the first truck, which was bringing Hindus from Lahore. When they reached Bias, Krishana, the wife of Sant Ram Sethi, told me the whole story, and I took them to Hazur. In those days, Hazur's health was poor, so I only told some of the story to Hazur. Hazur said, I know each and everything, but I have to lay down my life and I have to save the world. Don't worry, the victory will go. w- Don't worry, the victory will go, the Hindus and the Sikhs, but I will not see them in this body. I said, Hazur, you must see all these things. Why are you saying these things? Hazur said, Kako, only one of two things can happen. Either I will live, or the Hindus and the Sikh will, or either I will live, or the Hindus and the Sikhs will rule. After saying these words, Hazur became quiet. Krishna then did the ban- Bandara and went to her house. He meant that if he lives, then the Hindus and the Sikh will be ruled, will be conquered. So he had to give his life. He had to pay with his life in order to make the Sikh and the Hindus rule, not lose the war. So Baba Sawant Singh paid a very, very heavy price, um, which he gave his life so they can live. Because I think soon later he left the body. And this story reminds me of Dr. Chand's story about how they had to leave Pakistan and how also Master saved them because the first train people were slaughtered, as Dr. Chand says. So this story is very similar. So that's why Baba Sawant Singh was sick because he had to pay off the karma of many of his disciples. And I guess Prempal's talk, brother Prempal, who I wish he fixes. I don't know if he's here, but I hope he fixes his device soon so we can see him because I know for sure that I would love to hear his stories. I would love to see his face. And he said, I saw it in our group, WhatsApp group, that he met Master Sharan Singh in 1978. That means he has been on the path of love for many years, and he could share a lot of stories with us live. So I hope if he hears this, he fixes his device soon, and so we can hear him, and then he can appear live and tell us a lot of stories. I'm sure he's a treasure house of spirituality, and we would love to see him and hear his stories better than the recorded ones. But for now, let's listen to the recorded one. I'll play it.
Radha Swami, everyone. My today's topic is nature of perfect living master. In other words, in Punjabi, I can say Param Sant Satguਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੁਭਾਅ. Nature of perfect living master. The nature of a perfect living master is always a giving something, not something, but a lot of things. Love, compassion, mercy, daya, meher, blessings. All these things is a nature of a perfect legume master. For an example, if a beautiful flower is blooming, The nature of that flower is to give beauty and fragrance to everyone. The flower don't care who comes near him, but he provides those things to everyone. Like a full moon, love to get give a beautiful moonlight to everyone, doesn't matter who you are. Same thing, when it rains, the cloud don't care where the drop drops. It can drop in the ocean, it can drop on the dirt, it can drop on the flowers, it can drop on the animals, it can drop anywhere. Same thing is perfect Lego masters. Param Sant Satguru perfect Lego master always has mercy upon us. As a matter of fact, the perfect living master come here because to have mercy upon us. Daya tamari mohe satave. As Swamiji Maharaj says, I'm here to have mercy upon you because your seeking brought me here. When a perfect living master comes here, they are here for ourselves, as I told in my last talk. They don't come for themselves. When the master comes, they have mercy upon every one of us. Doesn't matter either we are satsangi or not satsangi. Doesn't make a difference at all. When the master comes, they treat everybody equal. Even if you are not a disciple of a master and you have a darshan of a master, the drishti of that master will exactly benefit you in the same amount if the same master give a drishti to his own son or to his own disciple. Because the master never discriminate. Can God discriminate at all? Absolutely not. So is the PLM, Perfect Level Masters. They are here to show us love, compassion, mercy, दया, मेहर. दया धर्म का मूल है, पाप मूल अभिमान, तुलसी दया न छोड़िए जब तक घट में प्राण. तुलसी साहब जी says, दया धर्म का मूल है. The base of the spirituality is the mercy or daya. Papa mool abhiman. The base of a pap or sense of bad karma is the egoism. तुलसी दया ना छोड़िए. Don't give up daya or mercy. जब तक घट में प्राण, till the last moment of your life. Then who can do it? We can do it. Not to speak of last moment of our life. Most of the moment of our life we usually spend on the worldly things. Only saints can do it. Only saints can do it. They have mercy upon us till the last moment of their life. When Maharaj Charan Singh Ji was ready to live physically and he had a heart attack, that's just kind of an kind of thing to go back home. When the doctor see him, Maharaj Charan Singh Ji, and the doctor said, Baba Ji, and you are ready to go? Then Maharaj said, yes. Doctor Saab, I'm ready to go. Then he said, Babaji, please let me do something. Then Maharaj Charan Singh Ji said, Doctor Saab, my physical body is not worth doing any seva at all. Why keep it? Why keep it? Why keep it? That's the beauty, the mercy of perfect Lingam Master. And Babaji said, this body can't do any more seva of Baba Savan Singh Ji. Why keep it? That's the compassion, the mercy, the blessings of perfect level masters. During Baba Jaimal Singh Ji time, during Baba Savan Singh Ji time, and other many masters, masters always has mercy upon us. As Chand Bhardwaj said, master can go back to your karmas and eliminate Some of the karmas, absolutely. When you get initiation from a perfect living master, most of our past life karma, known as Sanchit karma, they got eliminated at the time of the initiation. But still, we still have a karma that's known as past life karma, pralabdha karma, or destiny. Those karmas are not a small bit of karma. Even those karma is a big pile of karmas. Big pile of karmas. Last time I gave an example, I do it again. Suppose you owe $10,000 on your credit card and one of your friend make a payment towards your credit card for $9,999. That means you're almost debt free, of course. But still there is a balance left. And how much balance left on your card? $1. What is that $1 balance? That $1 balance is a karma of your past life known as paralabha. You might be thinking, most of my debt is already had been paid off by my friend. $1 is nothing, I can do it. Of course you can do it. But if you break that dollar into pennies, there are 100 pennies in there. There are 100 pennies in there. If you don't make a payment of that dollar to your credit card, they can keep sending you the statement. If we don't pay off all the karmas that we have in our past life, known as paralabdha karma or destiny, there is no way that you can go back. Those karma will keep pulling you back and back in this creation. And I was surprised to know from a satsang of Ishwarpuri Maharaj Ji, when Ishwarpuri Maharaj Ji said, suppose if you don't do any karmas at all at this life, if you don't do any karmas, of course we do have to do karmas. If you don't expect any fruit or rewards from the karma, those karmas are known as nahakarma karma. Nahakarma karma. That means you don't expect anything. कर्म करत होए नह कर्म tis वैष्णव का निर्मंतर. Guru Arjan Ji says in the Bani of Sukhmani Sahib. Even if you become smart enough or blissful enough to create karma, still don't expect anything in this life. Still, the past life karma or pralabdha karma, who still have enough karma, that those karma can pull us back to this creation perhaps more than 100 times. We might have more than 100 births if we don't pay our past life karma and create nothing in this life. This is a very complicated thing. Only master understand. The thing is, what we have in our previous life karma or in our pralabdha, there is all kind of karmas. There are good karmas, there are bad karmas. Only master or Sant Sadguru knows it. If a Sant Sadguru finds out there is some serious karma coming in your life that might disturb your life, master might go and eliminate that karma or just reduce it to minimum so you can tolerate it. And most of the Parkwillinga master always do it. Always do it. Always. Like Baba Jamil Singh Ji did it. Baba Saban Singh Ji did it. All those masters do it. Hajur Maharaj Baba Saban Singh Ji used to give an example in his satsang or discourses. If a little baby is sleeping and all the flies will sit on his mouth and the mother will flow away those flies and kid or little baby won't even know that. The mother will never tell the little baby boy or girl what I did for you. Even she tell the sleeping baby boy or girl won't even trust it. Same thing here. Master never says what I have done for you. Even if he says, we won't trust it because you're sleeping at subconscious and unconscious mind. We don't know anything. But the master or Satguru knows what we have, what kind of a destiny or past life karma we have. During Baba Jamal Singh Ji's time, Baba Jamal Singh Ji went somewhere to deliver a satsang. The Sangat requested Babaji, please initiate this person. When Babaji looked at that person, Babaji already knew it. What kind of karma he had. Baba Jamil Singh ji said, no, please don't ask me to initiate that person. But the Sangat and all those people keep requesting Baba Jamil Singh. Baba Jamil Singh ji said, okay, I will initiate that person only on one condition. I will leave from here immediately. Please bring a tanga or a horse cart and put my stuff there. Once I initiate him, I will get on this horse cart and go to the railway station, get the rail train and go back to Bias. They all agreed. They thought it's okay. We can ask Baba Jamal Singh ji to come back here again. Babaji initiated that person. And after that, Babaji Jamal Singh ji left. Got the train, came back to Bias. When Babaji make back to the Dera and Bibi Ruko was there, and Babaji was not feeling good at all. And Bibi ji said, Babaji, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ? ਬੁਖਾਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਆ? Babaji was going on, so seems like you have a fever. And Babaji said, Bibi ji, I just want to go in my room. Babaji Amal Singh ji and Bibi Rukku got initiation from Swamiji Maharaj. Babaji went in his room. After that, the fever was so high and severe that is hard to explain. And Babaji said, Bibi ji, I will come out when I feel like to. And Bibi ji said, okay Babaji, jo thodi mauj. Okay master, whatever your mauj is. After that, Baba Jamal Singh ji had such a high fever. And Bibi Rukko said, when I went near his front door, it looked like an oven. It was so hot I can't even stand in front of the door of his room. How Baba Jamal Singh ji could survive in there? And Baba Jamal Singh ji said, Bibi ji, I will just come out when I feel like to. And Baba Jamal Singh ji had a very severe fever for 3 days and 3 nights. And after that, Baba Jamal Singh ji came out. And Bibi ji said, Baba ji, what kind of mauj is that? Please tell me. You are perfect like a master. You are a Swamiji Maharaj Jesus Swarup. You can't have that kind of fever. Then Baba ji said, Bibi ji, I gave initiation to someone. The karmas of that person were so bad, he was supposed to burn in a fire for 3 lives. But my master Swamiji Maharaj ji have rahmat or blessings or mercy upon him, and he did it. That's why I got sick for 3 days. For 3 days. Same thing when Hajur Maharaj Baba Saban Singh ji was working in Second World War for British government, and Baba Saban Singh ji was in the area where Pakistan and Afghanistan is. And Baba Saban Singh ji used to ride a horse. Every time Babaji had a ride on a horse, Babaji will grab the hair from the neck of the horse and jump on the horse. That was his habit. And one weekend, Baba Saban Singh ji came back to his village, native village, Mema Singh Bala, not far from Ludhiana, maybe few miles. The same village where I had a chance to see Hajur Maharaj Charan Singh ji first time in 1978. And Baba Saban Singh ji came home to see the family. And the servant or sevadar who was there, he cut all the hairs of the horse's neck. And Baba Saban Singh ji went the next day. Baba Saban Singh ji wanted to ride the horse. He did the same thing. He tried to grab the hair from the neck of the horse and jump on that, but there were no hairs. And Baba Saban Singh ji fell from the horse and broke his leg. And all those employees and sevadar came and take Babaji to the hospital. And the doctor said, Saban Singh ji, you have very severe injury or fraction. It may take up to 1 year to heal. And Baba Saban Singh ji was very much kind of in pain and surprised. Then Baba Saban Singh ji wrote a letter to Baba Jaimal Singh ji. He said, the letter, every time Baba Saban Singh ji or Baba Jaimal Singh ji wrote letter to each other, They started with a qom, Satnam, Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. You can see Parmarthi Patra Bhag Pehla and see those letters. And Babaji wrote the letter to Baba Jaimal Singh Ji, his master. When the letter came in the mail, very slowly, and Babaji was reading the letter, and Bibi Ruki said, Babaji, Keda khata aaya? Whose letter is that? Then he said, Bibi Ji, this is a letter from Bhai Saban Singh Ji. Then Bibi Ji said, Khairiyat hai, is everything okay? Then Baba Jaimal Singh Ji said, No, Bibi Ji. Baba Jaimal Singh Ji said, No, Bibi Ji. Baba Saban Singh Ji fell from the horse and broke his leg. Then Bibi Ruki said, Please, Babaji, have mercy upon him. Then Babaji said, I will ask my master Swamiji Maharaj to have mercy upon him. Then Bibi Ruki was very much worried. Then Babaji went to his room, started doing meditation. The next day, Babaji wrote a letter to Baba Saban Singh Ji and said, My dear son Baba Saban Singh Ji, you will be okay and don't worry. And Baba Saban Singh Ji wrote back letter to Baba Jaimal Singh Ji, My dear Sant Satgur Baba Jaimal Singh Ji, Huzur Maharaj Ji, the doctor telling me it may take me up to many months to heal. And also, doctors are asking me to eat meat. When Baba Jaimal Singh Ji read that letter, he replied immediately. He said, My dear son Baba Saban Singh Ji, my beloved son Saban Singh, don't eat meat. I need you to eat kale chane, the black garbanzo beans soup. In Punjabi, who call them kale chole or black chane, kale chane, has the same amount of protein like the lamb curry has. Ishwar Puri Maharaj Ji always recommended us to eat that or soybean. Babaji said, okay. And Babaji, Jamal Singh Ji went back to his room, started doing meditation. And he came out and Bibi Ruki asked, Babaji, Bhai Savan Singh Ji, please have mercy upon him. And Babaji said, Bibi Ji, I pray to my master Swami Ji Maharaj. And Swami Ji Maharaj Ji said, don't worry, tell your beloved son that he will be okay in few couple of weeks instead of a year. Then Babaji wrote this letter back to Baba Saban Singh Ji. When Baba Saban Singh Ji read the letter, he was so happy and so thankful to his master. And Baba Saban Singh Ji was absolutely okay in few weeks instead of many months. So that's how the saints have mercy upon us. Same thing happened during your Baba Saban Singh Ji's time. When the, all those rooms were being built for Sevadars and the Sangit, there was a Sevadar, very strong boy from a village not far from Byas. He was doing a Seva, and the rooms were being built for the Sangat. And when Baba Sabri Singh Ji used to go like around 9 o'clock to give darshan to the Sevadar Ji, and Baba Sabri Singh Ji went there where the construction was going on, that Sevadar, very strong, tall boy. He said, Babaji, I want to go home today to see my parents, then I come back tomorrow. And Baba Saumil Singh Ji said, just go tomorrow, not today. Then he said, okay. After that, Baba Saumil Singh Ji left. Around after in the afternoon, all those masons they were building the wall, all those four walls went too high. Around 2 o'clock, this was a time to start the roof thing. There was a the steel bar thing, we call it a girder, or same steel that we used. You can call it a metal beam that we use for the railroad tracks. During those time, we will put those metal bars there, then some wooden things, then the tire roof starts. That young boy was standing in the middle. He gave that steel bar to the masons and other people and said, grab it. They grabbed it, but they miss it. Then that big old steel bar dropped and hit his leg. That guy, that young boy, broke his leg. and he was in such a pain. All those Sevadar ran and took him to the hospital in Amritsar. And Baba Saban Singh Ji was informed. All the Sevadar ran to Baba Saban Singh Ji and said, Baba Saban Singh Ji, the Sevadar, the young boy, very strong boy. What happened is the metal beam dropped from the top at his leg. He broke his leg. And now he's in the hospital in Amritsar. And Baba Saban Singh Ji got in his car, went to see him. When Baba Saban Singh Ji got there, that boy said, Hazur Maharaj Baba Saban Singh Ji, I asked you, I wanted to go home. If you had let me go, I might not have suffered this injury. And Babaji smiled and said, my beloved son, I know your village is right next to the railroad track. Then he said, yes, Babaji. And Babaji said around 3 o'clock, there's the train that passed by the track. He said, yes, Babaji. And he said, if you had gone to your village, you might have lost both of your legs in the accident of that train. What else my master Swamiji Maharaj can do it for you? ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਦਾ ਗਾਰਡਰ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ I turned that into a small accident and saved both of your legs. And my master Swamiji Maharaj did this mercy upon you. And that boy put his head on Baba Savan Singh's lap and started crying and said, Babaji, please keep having mercy upon you. Saints always have mercy upon us. Always have mercy upon us. Same thing like Maharaj Kirpal Singh Ji. Maharaj Kirpal Singh Ji was doing a seva of his Satguru Baba Savan Singh Ji. The seva was to deliver satsang um, all over. And one day, Baba Sant Maharaj Kirpal Singh Ji's boy, Darshan Singh Ji, who ended up becoming a Parkal master. He was little and he has a very high fever. And all the family was thinking that you should stay home with your son. But he said, the seva of my Satguru is the first. He just left. He said, I left everything to Baba Savan Singh Ji. Let him decide. I just want to do a seva. That's the hukum or that's the order from my Satguru. And Baba Huzur Maharaj Kirpal Singh Ji keep delivering satsang. After a few days he came back to Beas and see Maharaj Savan Singh Ji. And Maharaj Savan Singh Ji said, is everything okay? He said, Babaji, I don't know, you know it. And he said, Baba Savan Singh Ji said, don't worry, fikr na kar, kaka theek hai. Your son is okay. Then Maharaj Savan Singh Ji said, you left everything to me. Don't worry. At that time, Maharaj Savan Singh Ji has a fever. And Maharaj Kirpal Singh Ji asked, my master, Gurudev, why do you have a fever? Then Babaji said, you left everything to me to do my seva. Then I have to take care of you anyway. Don't worry. Your kaka, your baby boy will be okay. Then after that, Darshan Singh was okay. And Hujur Maharaj Darshan Singh Ji was also a disciple of great master. He got initiation from great master Maharaj Savan Singh Ji. Saints do mercy not only on human beings or their own disciple. In the Vani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji says, Pashu Pret Mugd ko tare. Pashu means animal, Pret means bodiless spirit, Mugd means the people who always make mistake. Pashu Pret Mugd ko tare. Of course, during the time of Purple Lake Master, Sant Baba Ishar Singh Ji, there was a bodiless spirit. His name was, he was Suleiman. His name was Suleiman in his previous life. He ended up becoming a Put Pret. And he saw many masters, but he ended up with Sant Baba Ishar Singh Ji from Rada Sahib. And Sant Baba Ishar Singh Ji said, how long you been in this zone or body? He said, over 700 years. Have mercy upon me. Because Baba Ishar Singh Ji, Huzur Maharaj Ishar Singh Ji already knew that his name is in my list. Then he said, okay. And Sant Baba Ishar Singh Ji from Rada Sahib gave him blessing and took him out of that zone or birth and gave him a human birth and brought him back again. So take him back to Sachkhand. Sant always have mercy upon us. Always, always, always have mercy upon us. If we study, read more literature. Ishwar Puri Maharaj Ji always tell us a sakhi or story of Raja Janak Ji. Raja Janak Ji got initiation from Rishi Ashtavakar Ji. And one day, Raja Janak Ji was doing a meditation, and all of a sudden, Raja Janak Ji heard the cries and all the pain and suffering of the souls. And Raja Janak Ji thought, where are these sounds coming from? With his inner mind and all those, he realized that these are the souls who are suffering in the hell. Then Raja Janak Ji decided to go there. When he went there, then he decided to talk to Dharmaraj. When Raja Janak Ji went to Dharmaraj was stood up with holding his hand in a prayer position and asked, Gurudev, Raja Janak Ji, I'm so happy to have your darshan. What can I do for you? And Raja Janak Ji said, all those souls that are crying in the hell, release them. Then he said, of course, master, I will release them, but you have to pay me something in return. Then Raja Janak asked him, what can I pay you in return? He said, just do meditation for one kadi or 2.5 meditation, maybe for a few minutes. And Raja Janak did the meditation in the hell for 2.5 hours. Then after that, all those souls were released and all the hell or nark was empty. And the Bani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji says, Tantan Raja Janak hai, जिन सिमरन किया विवेक, एक कड़ी के सिमरन से पापी तरे अनेक. The Bani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji says, Tantan great and greatest is Raja Janak. Jin Simran kiya Vivek, the Simran done by his consciousness, totality of consciousness. Ek ghadi ke Simran se papi tare anek, the meditation of 2.5 hours with Parkul Master can vacate, can empty all the hells and bring those souls back to the physical universe and initiate them and take it back to Sachkhand. Now the question is, how can a Parkul Master can do it? What's the difference between perfect master and a god? There is no difference. Sat Purush Jin Janya. Satgur Tiska now. What's the difference between Satpurush and master? No difference. The Bani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji says, Sat Purush Jin Janya Satgur Tiska now. Whoever figure out who is Satpurush at the end, they realize master is the Satpurush. If a god go to the hell and ask Dharmaraj, do you think that Dharmaraj will refuse? The same thing. If a perfect like a master say anything, everybody has to listen it. As a matter of fact, if a perfect like a master put his step in a hell, not even his feet, only the big toe of his feet, all those soul will get relief. That's the mercy of a Satguru. Ishwar Puri Maharaj Ji having a lot of mercy upon us. And I know it. That's his compassion. He's a Satguru. दरियाए रहमत है तू और तू है आबशारे आबे हयात. अनायते रहमतें इतनी तूने की है हम सब पर, कुछ कहा नहीं जाता. शुक्रिया करना चाहते हैं हम सब आपका, पर कैसे करें ये समझ नहीं आता. You are a river of रहमत, you are a river of mercy, and you are a waterfall of holy water, Abe Hayat. You had so much rahmat, blessings, everything upon us, that there is no way that we, all of us, can explain that how much you gave us. We would love to say thank you to you, but there is no way that we can find a proper word in any dictionary of the world to say that. To say that. Rahmat of a Satguru. is hard to explain. Hard to explain. Masters are here to have mercy upon us, to show us what is love and what is devotion. And they are just like an ocean. Like Kabir Sahib ji says, Ganga ke sang salita bigri. Kabir Sahib ji says, if a pure water of Ganges river is flowing, if the same water overflows and go to a creek and creek has the dirty water, that Ganges river make that creek's water absolutely pure like the Ganges water. So do the masters. Do the master. Rahmat, blessing, or mercy of a particular master is unexplained. There is no way I can explain it. Please accept my seva and forgive all my mistake. Radha Swami.
Rampal, dear brother, shukran. Thank you. Where are you? Put your. We want to celebrate you for a second and say thank you. If you want to put your. Oh. Oh. I asked to unmute him, but oh, here he is.
Thank you. I'm delivering mail.
Oh, okay, you're
All
working.
right. Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Well, I just want to say thank you, and thank you.
All right. Shukriya.
And we would love to hear you live next time. And we
Okay.
want to hear stories. We want to hear stories about your journey, because
Okay.
you have been since when were you initiated?
Okay. I will next time. I'm just waiting for his Moj to be live on with you guys.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So
Thank you.
thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate, and we're
All
looking
right.
forward. Sorry. So now we can do 5 minutes meditation and prepare ourselves to watch our Holy Father Ishwar Puriji and enjoy his words of wisdom and his grace.
for 7 days. In 7 days, the fish created perfect circles, perfect designs, and you'll be amazed with the perfection with which it was created. A fish has no brains. Fish couldn't see anything from the top like we could see, yet it designed that. When I was young, I studied beehives. The bees bake. In a beehive, they make small little apertures. That's how the hive is made. Each one is octagonal, 8 sides. As you may or may not know, each side is equal to the 4th degree of a centimeter. And they have no measuring tools. And how do the bees make them? How the drones make them? The bees have in the hive only one queen bee and thousands of drones. The bigger the hive, the more drones. Queen is only one. Queen is in the center. Queen bee. If you watch, I spend a lot of time with watching the hives working. The queen bee is in the center. You can always know where the queen bee is because no drone is facing its back to the queen. We don't learn that respect for a queen like the bees have learned. And when they have to move in the hive, the drones withdraw before they fly off. They never turn around and fly. They give so much respect to the queen. Never went to school or college to learn these things, these bees. Look at other animals, how they are programmed to do these things, very skillful things. Birds are flying in the sky. You must have sometime noticed that the bird fly making like two wings at an angle. And the leading bird is flying, followed by the other bird in 2 wings. The distance of these next birds are exactly correct to be pushed by the vacuum created by the top one. Each one is getting the benefit, the push. You might also have noticed that out of the 2 wings in which the bird fly, one is longer than the other. There are 2 or 3 or 4 birds extra in one line. And these bird watchers have found out. What are they for? Why is one line longer? It is when one of the birds, any bird, falls sick and falls to the ground or on a tree, the ones at the end, they are the rescue birds. They come down to help them. The remaining ones keep on. Who gave them that intelligence? Which books did they study to do all that? All life forms, from bacteria to angels and gods who might be created and running the universes, no free will, only program. Out of 8.4 million species of life forms, only one has been given what is called free will, the choice to make amongst alternative options, human being. And because of this, ups and downs are there, so we can make a choice. If all was one way, we wouldn't make a choice. Therefore, the choices that we make bring in us something that we can make a choice with our mind. We can make a choice with our hands. We can make a choice with our soul. Seeking the truth is a choice made by the soul. This choice making would not be there if we didn't have the experience of free will. Question asked is free will real? If it is real, there's a little problem there. Because we think we all worship God, and God knows everything. If we have free will, God doesn't know anything. Because if He knows what we are going to decide, it's not free will. If He already knows, God already knows what we are going to decide, we have no free will. Then if there is no free will, why law of karma? Why should we be punished and rewarded if there is no free will, real free will? It only looks like free will. This is a very significant point on the spiritual path. Without the experience of free will, we would not be seekers and have experience of seeking. The whole thing is pre-planned, pre-written, predetermined, but it has to experience as if it is happening with free will now. How has it been created? Very simple. Make you ignorant of the future, free will comes. Tomorrow you know your future. If you know you're 5 minutes ahead, you lose your free will. You will know what will happen. And that's what happens in the astral and causal planes. You know exactly what's going to happen. Somebody asked me, is it true that in the astral plane, if we really meditate hard and put our attention, forget this world, we can see tomorrow. I said, yes, you can do. He said, I'm going to try tonight because tomorrow lottery is coming. I'll be able to see the number. Which number is going to win? And I buy that ticket and I put that number. So he went in and he was very keen. And he said, nothing more I want to see, just the number of the winning lottery tomorrow. And tomorrow was shown up and he saw the number of the winning lottery. And he got out of meditation. Already the number is forgotten. I knew it, I saw it, I remember there were three and six were there, I remember. Next day lottery came, 3 and 6 were there. Other number, he said, I remember, this is what I saw. Too late. Why did this happen? If he'd already seen it, because the memory that is held at that level is different from the memory we hold here. You cannot transfer that experience in total here, but you can partially. Little bit of it can be carried forward. Just like the dream sequences, they disappear when we wake up. Similarly, these experiences come back to the reality when we make the physical reality, and that becomes something we have seen, maybe dream-like. Some people are very unsure if they have astral experiences or if they have dreams. They ask me, what's a dream or is it a real astral experience? Because even astral experiences, when you come back into physical body, look like a dream. Because this is our reality, then that becomes unreal. Then you are there, that's real. When you come back to this body to examine what you had earlier, that looks like a dream. So the signs of an astral experience and the physical, to remember what you can remember the physical, some very strong experiences in the astral plane we retain here. And we can't forget. Supposing we find in the astral plane that we are a very different person and we're living somewhere very far, which we have no idea now. It had big impact on us in the meditation, the astral plane, and we come back to physical, we may remember that part. Or just like a dream, we have a traumatic dream and we remember some part of traumatic dream. And some parts, which are good parts, in the dreams, they look so real that even when you wake up, you are feeling sorry why you woken up. It had happened with me. I bought a lottery ticket in a dream and I won $5 billion. They said cash or check. I said cash. I want to see what $5 million looks like. So they gathered all the cash, and as they were going to hand over, I woke up. I tried very hard to go back to sleep. I said, at least let me collect it, then I can wake up. Now, at this time it looked silly. At that time it looked like a good decision. At least see it once. The dreams at the lower level of consciousness of wakeful state are generally in monocolor. Color of the skin, flesh colored, dark or light. Most of them are very monocolored. Or they have more colors of the red side of the spectrum. And they have some orange, but rarely blue. When somebody has a dream of a blue sky, see clearly. Yellow flower growing in a blue sky. It could very well be an astral experience. We have these experiences all the time. So certain colors occur in the experiences we have because we can go into an astral state. If we are meditating regularly, we go regularly into that state, but when you come back, we can't distinguish was it a dream or was it real. I'm telling for those people who can't determine that there's a very big difference in the colors that appear. And somehow you will understand this better when you find in the causal plane, the colors are created there and play a very important role in the creation of objects and experiences in lower levels. And colors have personality and color can take on a soul. That means colors are personalities there like we have personalities here in the causal plane. It's a very different kind of experience. So those are they manifest very differently at different levels. So mostly if they are very bright colors, or they are colors which are unusual, we have never seen them here. They generally belong to the astral plane. I did an exercise with you, and I said, imagine that you have flowers. And many of you saw flowers which you had never seen in this world at all. You were not trying to imagine those flowers, because then you would have seen. What you tried to imagine was replaced by something that was different. I sometimes, at the end of a program, give an offer with my great master's permission. I give an offer that if you want to use your astral body right now to pick up an astral gift, great master will place those gifts on top of the roof, and you go and pick it up with your astral body, not with your physical. And all you have to do is to imagine that you're going up. And people go up. And they pick up, many of them, in fact, more than half of the people actually pick up gifts. And those gifts are totally different from what they can imagine. But many of them imagine those things like crystals sending out light, or things, flowers emitting colorful lights, which don't exist here at all. How do they get those? They're all astral gifts. Astral is not somewhere else. It's right where we are. Everything is right where we are. It's a complete overlap. We're just moving our attention from one type of experience to another type. We don't have to go anywhere to go to another plane. The plane is here, and we can slip into it, especially when we're doing meditation regularly. We can slip into, people have had glimpses of the soul. People have had glimpses of the causal plane, very short glimpse, while they were in the beginning of meditation. So, and very often, masters give that kind of a sampling. People come to the master and they get a very nice glimpse, and then they can't get it. I remember there's a colleague of mine, friend of mine, I worked in business with him. And when I came in the beginning, I attended some seminars where they invited me, called Spiritual Frontier Fellowship, or some names like that. They invited me, and I would go and give some talks or hold some seminars. And one of the persons who became my colleague later, he said, can't we just have one glimpse of what the world looks like from heaven? I said, of course one can. I request Great Master, give him a glimpse. What's the big deal? And he sat in some meditation, and he felt he flew away, and he saw the Earth planet, and he saw the buildings, he saw everything. And he came and said, this is so easy. I said, yes, it is easy. It's a matter of putting attention somewhere. Okay, I can do it any time. For 20 years he's been begging, let me have that again. What happened? It was just a glimpse given out of grace. But the usefulness of that glimpse is you are firmly established there is something more than what we can see here. And that's the benefit. It's a big benefit that you come to know there is something else. And I saw it myself. I know it's hard to get. I don't know, this struggle is not giving me. But I know there's something that establishes a certain element of faith which does not go away easily, because it's experiential. It's your own experience. It's not based on somebody else telling you what to believe. So that is why these kind of things happen. In many cases, masters do that. And it's a good thing. But to know that you can be in an astral plane and have an astral, the colors can be a good indication. And things that are not existing here, you can see them in astral plane, but they are more attractive. They are slightly different from what you see here. And if you do practice regularly, then you, on volition, on your own, you can become there. You can go there by withdrawing attention at any time. It's best to do enough meditation, even if you have to do a lot more meditation. I remember when I had doubts about meditation and effectiveness, I did try for a very long period, 8 hours at sometimes, at a stretch. But I then later on find that it is not the meditation itself. There has to be something else pulling us besides the meditation. And then I found out what it is called grace, grace of the Master. So both work together. And in the beginning, when you are trying hard, the Master knows that this is the time your mind has to work hard. It has to convince itself that there is something and makes you work hard. And when you work hard, it is its grace also flowing which gives you those experiences. So in the beginning, you have to have that, but once an experience comes, it is like faith building experience. And then it sticks with you. Many other doubts can come up about life and why this bad thing happened, why not good things happen, all good things happen, I've got a master. All questions keep on coming. But then you find with more meditation, with more grace, what is the role of effort and grace? This question has been asked many times. In the beginning, effort is everything because you can't see grace at all. As you move on, you find your effort is not yielding what is otherwise coming to you. And you say, that's grace. I couldn't do it. I tried. I didn't do it. But now it's working. More grace. Then more and more grace, less and less effort. At the end, all grace, no effort. And then you look back and say, in the beginning was effort, and now it is all grace. You discover it was all grace right from the beginning. It was grace that you got the desire to have big effort. It was grace that made you do meditation. It was grace all the time. It looked like effort to start with and become pure grace without effort at the end. It's still all grace. This is a very big role that the perfect living masters perform for their disciples. They have to take them back home, no matter what. So these are some of the experiences we go through on the journey back to our true home, which is all within ourselves. It's just opening up the door and finding out what is there. I must go back to the question in my hand. This was about a person losing faith after having faith, and explained it to you. Any more questions?
In Great Masters and Other Saints' discourses, there is a mention of two faculties of soul, Surat and Mirat. Please, can you talk a little about it? And if we only hear sound and inner experiences, but don't see anything, does that limit our spiritual growth?
In Great Masters and Other Saints' discourses, there is a mention of two faculties of the soul, Surat and Nirat. Please, can you talk a little about it? That's the first question. Second, if we only hear sound in inner experiences but don't see anything, does that limit our spiritual growth? First question about Surat and Nirat. Surat means attention. That is why this path has been called Surat Shabd Yoga. Put your attention on the sound and get union with your true self. That's the meaning of Surat Shabd Yoga. Surat, to start with, to discover the self, is done by listening to the sound. Therefore, Surat can be used as putting attention on listening. Nirat is viewing, seeing. These two faculties, they continue for a long time with us. They change their nature, but they're always there. Other senses are dropped. For example, sense of touch, smell, so on, we drop them. But hearing and seeing, they go on for a long time. The hearing and seeing in the spiritual regions is very different from hearing and seeing over here. Because we don't have these kind of eyes, we don't have these. There, the hearing and seeing virtually merge in the soul and become knowing, true knowing. Intuition comes from that true knowing, flows from the soul from that true knowing. But below that, all the time, from the mind, we start separating it into listening and seeing. So in meditation, when we do, there are two things happening: visual things and audio things. So audio visual things are happening all the time. On audio, because of the importance of the sound coming from the self, and video, because we are seeing things happen, because the creation of this space time in this physical world, in the astral world, in the causal world, is in a space. So the visual experiences are always there. So visual and audio experiences have a great role to play. So Surat and Nirath both play a role. Hearing and seeing both play a role in this. Sometimes in meditation, some people see more, hear less. They can see things that are not here in the world. And they say, we know we have gone somewhere else. Hear nothing. Some hear the sounds, but see nothing. It looks like they are missing something. They are not missing. Because Surth and Nirth becomes one in Parbrahm, and that is why when it separates, the nature of it still remains the same. And that is why somebody can emphasize, and I'll explain to you why that emphasis takes place, emphasize on visual and sees more, hears less. And some have the other audio things more. Why this happens? It happens because of past lives. And there's a thing called karma, and there's something called sanskar. You might have heard of this. Karma is an event that happened. Sanskar is an attitude created from that event. Karmas change. You hit somebody, they hit you back, karma over. But the attitude created by that goes on. And these attitudes are lasting for a long time, so sanskar don't change very easily, karma can change. So that is why the attitudes we have towards dealing with something are the same. You'll see that the style and attitude of people in every walk of life, in everything, including meditation, is the same, consistent. Another person has a different style. So this is what carries on. A person who has been blind, or not blind for birth, but blinded during a past life, will have a great attachment to seeing and will have a very strong nirath over here and less surat. A person who is deaf has hard time listening as a karmic event of the past will have a different leaning towards listening or seeing. These bulk of these last karmas from several lifetimes, not one lifetime. Sanskars are created by several lifetimes put together. And when they work, they create our leanings towards one or the other. That is why some people in the beginning can see one more than the other. Some get spectacle, they can see easily and not hear anything. Some can hear the sound very well and they can be pulled by the sound, but nirath opens up later. It's a normal thing based on our past karma. The truth is, there is no difference between the two, which we discover much later. All sense perceptions arising from a total perception, mind can have total perception in the causal plane. But these two, which persist, actually combine completely just above the mind. I don't know how many of you studied this process of opening up more levels, but the levels are described very nicely. This is the physical level. What is the characteristic of this physical level? Just physical matter. That's the characteristic. If there is no matter, it's not physical. If it's energy only, it would not be called a physical reality, though it's part of the physical world. Energy and matter, they used to say, are equal. Sometimes matter becomes energy becomes matter, but they are all the same. Total is the same. Now they are doubting that because the balance has not come out from radioactive waves, and therefore now they found dark matter, dark energy, many percentages. So that is why they are revising all their opinions. They have to revise many opinions when they discover more. So this business of matter creates physical universe. In science, we study in science how the Einsteinian theories of relativity found out some very interesting facts, that you can convert one into the other. Matter can be converted to energy. That's what the atom bomb was made out of, that discovery by Einstein. Very destructive thing. We can also redo and make energy into matter, but with much greater effort. Then they found, and this is something very more recent, called quantum physics, quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, they said that if there is a wave, it will be an energy and not a matter made of atoms or particles. If you put your observation, a human observation, on a wave, it can become matter. You used to think you need a lot of power to convert energy into matter. Now they found out human observation changes a wave into matter. That is the quantum physics. And how they found out? Because I don't know how many of you are interested in this subject, but I'm just mentioning, because I had a lot of interest in discovering these things. There is a hydrogen atom. The very first atom that was created after what they say was the Big Bang, and the world was created, the whole universe was created. And hydrogen was the first because most elemental. It's got only one small nucleus and one electron moving around it. Now, today we can measure, take picture of an atom. We take picture of a hydrogen atom with such microscopes we have, such telescopes we have which can see billions of light years away. What has happened by these instruments? When we see one electron moving in an orbit around its nucleus, creating the gas called hydrogen, we know the distance of the electron from the nucleus. That's the radius. We know its orbit. But orbit can be like this, orbit can be like this, it can be like this. You can make a million combinations of the orbit. Which orbit is it? That one electron. So they can now put a laser beam as thin as a photon or as thin as an electron, and the laser beam touches any point on the orbit, any point, electron is there. After that, electron is only in that orbit, nowhere else. You can take any orbit and put the laser beam the right distance, electron is there. After that, it's only there. Before that, it is all over. What did we do? What did human intervention, maybe through laser beam or observation or the eyes, what did we do? We created matter out of energy. This is a very big thing. They are going to use this principle called the quantum physics principle, quantum mechanics principle, in designing new computers. Some have already been designed as prototypes, called quantum computers. What will a quantum computer do? It can, based on your thought and observation, change a 0 into 1 and a 1 into 0, the very digital language we are using for all digital phenomena and all digital experiences. You have programmed one thing, your mind thinks different, it will change the program for your observation. They're making such computers. This is all being tied up with a new science they called AI, artificial intelligence. They are putting artificial intelligence into machines. And they have demonstrated, I don't know if you have seen, they made a doll looking like a human woman called Sophia or some name like that they're given, and put a lot of intelligence into the chips in the brain, the head of the doll. And doll gives answers like a human being. They demonstrated this doll in Saudi Arabia, and the Saudi Arabian government has granted citizenship to the doll. It's an actual fact, just happened. And not only that, they say if you make more such dolls, they will all be our citizens. Other countries are thinking we might like to adopt some too. the beginning, another person has just designed, he said, why do you make such a huge human face? He made a small doll this size and put the same intelligence, little doll in his hand. And you can ask any question, doll answers very intelligently. It is all possible answers intelligently designed to give to you. We have our intelligence as human beings only of one individual. They can put 1,000 intelligent people's intelligence into one artificial doll. It will be the most intelligent, more intelligent than anyone here. Now the fear is being expressed that one day we will become slaves of these robots. These robots will be more intelligent, they will know what to do. Because that doll, which has been granted Saudi Arabian citizenship, was interviewed in London and elsewhere. And one question one person asked, do you think you can also, in your own intelligence, destroy humankind? And she said, yes, I can destroy also. That's a danger point. So the very same intelligence we have fed into the machine, it can say that. Therefore, they say there is a danger that we might all become slaves and be wiped out if they want to run the whole planet by dolls. Where are we heading for? These are matters when we say technology. It's a great human experience going on here. I can tell you, fortunately, some of you are young, some new. Don't worry, they won't destroy us, the ones who are sitting here. So we are safe. Future generations may have to handle this themselves. I talked about Surat and Nirat. This can be built into dolls also. And the second one is, if we only hear the sound with no visual experience, are we slow in our progress? No.